Hola chamas y chamos, welcome back to a new episode of Alvaro Dev Labs. Today's episode is special because not long time ago I recorded a video about Nuxt3 using a Storyblok integration. It's a module that Storyblok launches to integrate easily your Storyblok implementation into a Nuxt app. The problem was that by the time of the recording, Nuxt3 wasn't stable enough. After that, there were several problems in terms of the module itself and how it works between Nuxt that block us to create more videos in the series. So that's why today I'm gonna do a revamp of that video because right now Nuxt3 is stable, it's in release candidate, but it's okay to use it. And also Storyblok launched a new version of the module that works perfectly. This video is sponsored by Storyblok. Looking for a CMS solution that is great both for marketing teams and developers? Look no further. Storyblok is the headless CMS solutions that you always wanted to have. See how easy it is to change content for your website with a real-time visual editor, creating a delightful customer experience for your teams. Go from a content update to production in no time. Storyblok is easily integrable with multiple tech stacks, making your dev team's life easier. Go and try it for free at storyblok.com. So before we get started, I want to show you what we're gonna build today. So as the tutorial before, we are gonna create a landing page for a sushi wood application, which is a Japanese recipe app. This initial page for this tutorial is gonna be like a hero component that we are going to create the content on Storyblok, and then we're gonna render in on our Nuxt application with the images and so on. And then we're gonna create some categories and we are gonna create this section here with some images. To create the Nuxt application, you can use the command npx nuxt init and the name of your Nuxt application. So in this case is sushi wood. We press enter and just like that, it created a starter. So now we are going to enter our new application, so sushi wood, okay, like this, and open it in code editor. Because I'm gonna use pnpm instead of npm or yarn, we need to put in our root of the application and .npm rc, and inside of it just put shamefully hoist. What does that mean? I have no idea, but it's the recommendation when you're working with Nuxt application and using pnpm as your package manager. So let's install our packages. Going to the terminal here, npm install, pnpm install, sorry.
1 week later.
Okay, and then we are all good to get started. To make this tutorial easier to follow, and because I want to focus especially in the part of the integration between the Storyblok and Nuxt, I created a repository where you can find all the different steps that we're gonna do. And if you check out the basic setup branch, you will have a basic layout, okay, with the header here, with the logo already. Okay, for the styles I'm using Uno CSS, and basically I created some of the theme for our design here with the colors, etc. And it's ready to go, also with the fonts. So you just need to download this if you don't want to spend too much time preparing it. Then you can run it with npm run dev. It's gonna trigger in the localhost 3k, and it's gonna look something like this. We're gonna have a header here with our logo, a nigiri logo, and the title of our application. So we're ready to go. Next, we are gonna create our space here in the Storyblok. So once you register and you log in, you're gonna have this space here, where basically you can create multiple spaces. A space is basically a project, okay? Think of it that way. Here, for example, I do have the previous one for the other tutorial, so I'm not gonna use that one because I want to start from scratch. So we're gonna click on create new space, and we're gonna call it sushi wood. Okay, you can of course duplicate a space, join a space, whatever. We're gonna create it from scratch. So at the beginning we're gonna have this one here, but since I'm trying the version 2 of Storyblok, which brings a lot of new enhancements and so on, I'm gonna do a video about the Storyblok version 2. It's like an overview, so let me know if you're interested, and please subscribe so you get the notification whenever it is available. So here we see that we have our content, right? And now from scratch we have a home page that is created. If we enter it, we're gonna have this visual editor, which I honestly love because it allows you to change things in your page directly, okay? So we have this access token, of course. This is the access token for this application. So make sure that nobody sees yours, okay? And you copy and paste it in an environment variable. We're gonna do that in a moment. So to get started, let's go to settings. And here, space 18, access tokens, okay? We're gonna have this one as a preview. So let's copy it, okay? And we need to create an environment variable here, which is called .env, and we're gonna call it a Storyblok AP token, okay? Make sure that you don't publish this in your repository. So it's a good practice to, in the git ignore, just put .env so it's not submitted in your repository and visible to anyone, okay? So I'm gonna save this here. And now we need to install a Storyblok Nuxt module, okay? So you can find it in GitHub under Storyblok repo. And we are going to install this one here. So pnpm add Storyblok Nuxt3, and probably we need to install also access, okay? Once it's ready, we need to add this into our build modules on the nuxt-config.ts. So we go here and we add this one here. Okay, and we need to put our access token directly here. So for that, we're gonna use process env and then our variable, which is story API token. We click save and then it's gonna restart. Okay, cool. So the difference between the previous tutorial is like right now we can create folder called Storyblok here, which is gonna contain all components that are blocks. Okay, we're gonna go into that in a sec. For now, just create the Storyblok directory. To check that everything is working, we're gonna fetch the data from Storyblok. So to do that, we're gonna create a script tag here with a setup and probably also lang ts. Okay. The module comes with a composable called use Storyblok. So we can get a story as simple as writing down this using await. Okay, use story block. And we need to pass the corresponding name of the content that we want to fetch, which is in this case home, and the version, which is gonna be draft for now because we haven't published anything. Okay, we're gonna print that into our DOM to see that everything is working. Okay, so this is the JSON file that is returned by Storyblok, which contains the structure of your story, in this case home, which represent this content here, okay? We haven't done anything yet here, but we have some default values like a component teaser and so on. So this is how basically Storyblok return the data from the CMS, okay? Some minutes ago, I showed you in the content editor that you have this visual editor here that allows you to see like a preview of your page and be able to edit it. So let's start using it. We're gonna change the preview here, which is not gonna be this one. It's gonna be HTTPS. It's important that for version 2 you use this one. And we're gonna put localhost. We're basically gonna copy and paste this one here. Okay, localhost 3K. But we need to put the S, you will see why, okay? Let's save. And let's go again to content, home. But you can see that we cannot see anything here. That's because we are running our serve in the HTTP one. We need to serve our Nuxt applications with HTTPS. To do that, we're gonna go to the package JSON here, and just below dev, we're gonna create a new one called HTTPS, and basically we're gonna open this with this flag, okay? So if we run again, I'm going to delete this one, I don't need it anymore, so we have more space. pnpn run dev HTTPS. Okay, so now you see that is serving in the HTTP localhost 3K, which is gonna basically just serve our application in the same way. Okay, let's just, here we have our application. If we go to Storyblok and we refresh this, it's gonna go to our app. So this is like, for me, it was amazing because basically you have your application in localhost and you can preview it here in Storyblok, and you will see why it's so amazing in a moment, but let's give it a glimpse. So here we have the JSON, right? If I go here and I change this and I say, because this is the headline of the component teaser, right? It's a default component that comes with the Storyblocks, and I put here sushi wood. You see that automatically, without saving, without anything, you can have the visual feedback of your changes in the form here directly in your web page. That's one of the things that I love the most about Storybook. So how we can actually do it with our design, right? With a real component. We're gonna remove this part here. I'm gonna go to app.view and let's create some structure for all page. Something important that we need to do in our Storyblok page, home page, is that we right now is calling a home page, okay? But we don't want that. We want it to go to the real path, which is gonna be this one, the root one. So if we change it, you're gonna see that it's gonna call it like home, but it's not gonna have the suffix here in the path. That's important because let's create a basic layout. Of course, we could do this application just with one page because it's a landing page, but since Nuxt is really richful in ways of you can build your website, let's use the most common case, which is gonna be like having layouts and pages, okay? Layouts allows you to create like templates or blueprints of, for example, if you have products and you have another type of product, or you have services and they use the same layout visually, the UI layout, you can create one for those. So to do that, we are gonna go to app.view, and instead of passing this here, we are gonna use some default components that comes with Nuxt, which is Nuxt layout, and then we're gonna use Nuxt page. Okay, we're gonna save, and for it to work, we need to create here a directory called layouts, and we're gonna create a default layout. Okay, it's gonna be default.view, and this is basically a template. And this is basically a template tag. Okay, we're gonna create like a div with page and a margin top of more or less 16, so it doesn't affect with the header. And here inside we need to add a slot. Okay, we have it here. So let's create one page. We need to create a directory called pages, and inside of it we're gonna create our home page, which is index.view. So how Nuxt works is that when you create things, when you create view components inside pages, it was gonna create a route for each one of them, being index the default route. Okay, that is the one we are gonna use. So let's create a small SVC component here. Probably I'm going to use TypeScript here. Okay, I'm gonna remove this. We don't need the styles neither. And inside of here, I'm gonna create a main component with main tag, sorry, with role main. And here we need to fetch the story. Okay, so I'm gonna remove this from the app.view. We don't need it anymore here, neither the script tag in the app.view. And if we go to our page and we're gonna paste it here, and a Storyblok comes with their own component that basically allows you to dynamically render other components that you will have in the Storyblok directory. Okay, before, not a long time ago, you needed to use like component and just pass like this or something. Like you needed to use dynamic components, but this is a sort of a dynamic component, but that already gets the Blok property, and you pass the story content, and it will render everything as long as you have them on the Storyblok. What does that mean? If we save here and we go here, we're gonna see I added in the Nuxt config, I added server-side rendering as false. Okay, and here in the default we forgot to put the header actually, so we can put here our component for the header. Okay, because we want this layout to have it as default in the top. Okay, so now we got back our sushi wood. Okay, cool. Next thing is gonna be creating blocks on Storyblok and then rendering on Nuxt application. The best analogy that we can use to define what blocks are in a Storyblok is just basically comparing them to Lego pieces. When you have Lego pieces, you normally grab some of them to try to form a more complex structure, something like this. It will be the same with the blocks in the Storyblok. They are components which have a data that comes between the Storyblok instance. Let's say this is the header, and we pass the logo. Okay, we define it in the data, and we put it on the top of the page. Then we have another components that are, let's say, columns. Okay, and we define, I don't know, the width. Okay, so width half. Okay, we can reuse them. We can put it in another part of the block. That means that we can grab it and put it maybe below. We can add another component. Let's say we have an action bar, for example, something like that. Or here, to create a hero, we create an image to show some image here and some text here. So that's basically how blocks work. So the first step to do that is going to be like here in the visual editor, and that's something really nice about the version 2 of the Storyblok as dashboard, is that here you can go directly to the Blok library. The other way of doing that is going back, and here in the sidebar, before it was components, now it's called Blok library. And there are a lot of new UI features here. I really like that you can actually set icons for them. And here you can see that there is one already, well, there are several created feature, grid and teaser, but this one is really important because this is a page. which basically is gonna hold all the rest of components that we're gonna use. So we need to create in our Nuxt application a page component. Before you were creating any components, but you needed to automatically add them to your Nuxt application. But now with the module, you have a Storyblok directory that we created in the beginning of the tutorial. And here we're gonna create the page component. The page component is gonna be basically single file component, okay? We're gonna remove this part here, also the styles, okay? And it's gonna be a div, okay? And we need to define some props. As you remember in the default, no, in the upload view, no, in our page. Okay, we have this Storyblok component, and we have we are passing a prop called Blok, right? So we need to define that prop here, okay? And by default it's like type object, and we're gonna return it empty. And we need to use this directive here, which is called be editable. This is going to be important because it's gonna make the component editable through the visual editor, okay? It's gonna refresh it automatically when we change the content. And basically we need to again add a Storyblok component, okay? But this time we are gonna use a before, and for each one of the blocks in the block body, we are gonna create a key, and we are gonna pass it as a prop again, okay? So basically every component that we create that is coming for a block on a Storyblok, we need to do it with a prop of Blok to pass information. So let's click save, and let's go to our browser. And if we add something here in the code like page, just to see if it's working, okay, we're gonna see it here. If you don't see it, it's because probably you need to run again the serve, because maybe it's not Nuxt is not getting the new component that you created here. That's probably the case. Now that we have our page, let's fill it out with components. So we haven't created any of these, so I'm just going to remove them, and we're gonna go to save them. Okay. Let's go to the Blok library, okay? We're gonna create for our design, let me open Figma again. We will need to create a hero component, which is gonna consist of an image, headline, some text, and two call to actions, okay? So, here in the Storyblok, we're gonna create a new block, and we're gonna call it hero. It's gonna be a nested block, so this gives the ability of being inside of another one, okay? So yeah, let's create it. And let's add some fields. So one field that we will need to have is the media or the image, okay? Let's add it. Here we can change the field type. So in the version 2 of Storyblok, you now have more visual feedback of the different kinds of blocks there is. We will need one for images. So I guess it's asset. Before it was image all, but I don't know if there is another image now, or it's probably asset. Okay, cool. What is the display name? Yeah. Hero image, it's fine. It is translatable. You can put a description for the marketing team or the content team to follow. And in this case, I just want to allow images. The default assets folder. Let's see what else. Preview field. Well, we can put a screenshot, and we can select an icon, which is going to be probably this one. Yeah, why not? Okay. So save, and then we are gonna have our hero with the icon that we defined here. Okay, cool. Another thing that we need here, a part of the media, is gonna be a title, which is gonna be a normal text. Also, we will need Yeah, I'm super good with the names today. So it's gonna be text. And what else? We need two action buttons. So how can we do this one? So for the call to actions that are here, the learn more and the download, we are going to create another block in between. So I'm going to just save this one here. And here we are gonna say call to action. Yeah, call to action. Okay. It's gonna be also nested block add, and it's gonna have yeah, it created, but it's editing the other one. This one. Okay. So it's gonna have a label, which is like this, and yeah, I don't know the type. If it's outline or is the other one. Okay, so we're gonna select no multi-option, we need another one, single option, and it's gonna be like the type add. Let's see, we go here. Okay, stories now here. Let's add the options. So one is gonna be solid, and the other one is going to be outline. This way we can create drop downs. Okay, so save. That's fine. So we have the call to action, and if we want to add another field here where it's gonna be actions, and it's gonna be it will consist of blocks. So let's add it, and we inside here we can restrict even what kind of blocks are coming here. So allow only specific components to be added, and we are going to allow only call to actions. The call to action maybe is also good if we can add link in case they want to add a link. So let's use this one. Okay, add. And we're good for now, I think. So let's go to the design again to see if we have everything. We have an image for the hero, we have the title, we have the text, and we have a list of actions. Cool. So now let's create the components in the Nuxt application. First of all, I'm going to remove this page here, okay? So it doesn't appear more in the page. And under Storyblok, let's create a hero.view, okay? So this is gonna have a script setup lang ts, okay? And we're gonna create a template for it. It's gonna be template tag, okay? It's gonna be a div of class hero. It's fine. And inside of it, let's see the design again. So probably I would like to have it centered with the max width and having two columns. So we're gonna use grid for it. So here I'm going to create a grid. It's going to have a max auto. It's gonna be contained. Okay. Call. Where are the options for call? Start, autocode, grid call, calls to. Okay, grid calls to. One is going to be an image, and the other one is going to be a div with a headline. Okay. As we did with the page, here we need to define the props and add the block prop here, like this. But instead of using the Storyblok component inside, we are going to just get, for example, here, let's add the block, which is going to be a hero component, okay? And we're going to add these properties here, which is, let me take that out. So title, text, hero image, which is media, I think, and the actions, okay? So for this one, it's gonna be the simpler one. We're gonna add block.type. Okay? If we go here and we add a title, your favorite recipes app, you're gonna see that it automatically renders here. So we're good with this. With the text, let's see in Figma what text we have. Your favorite Japanese. Okay. So your favorite Japanese recipes app. Okay. In the text, we're gonna use basic lorem ipsum text. Okay, don't forget to remove it in production. I have seen a lot of places that they keep the lorem ipsum. Don't do that. Here we're gonna add block the text. Okay. Nice. And for the media image is a little bit different, but because for now we're passing just the prop like this one, headline, title, okay, and we're rendering. By the way, probably we want to add some styles here because it doesn't look that good, right? I'm going to use the text shrimp color. I don't know, 400. I think it's too little. Font display also. Text for 3XL maybe. Let's see how that looks. Okay. It's not taking the color. Why? Did I? It says shrimp like this. Did I put it incorrectly? Shrimp? Yeah. I don't know how to write it. Here font bold also will be good, and some margin in the bottom, like 4. Okay, it looks more like the design, right? Okay, for this block of text, just quickly put some, I don't know how it was looking. It's a little bit less the size, so it's going to be, I don't know, text SM maybe. It's still pretty. So this is OpenSense, and I don't know why I think this is not OpenSense. Let's check. P-tag. No, it's not getting the OpenSense. Probably I need to put here font sense, so you all get it, the font sense. Now I think it is. Yeah, now it's getting the OpenSense one. Maybe XS, but the XS is too little, right? And also we can change the color to a different level of gray. Okay, looks nice. Let's remove this out. Now something really interesting, how to add images. So we configure this to be an asset, and if we click on it and we upload, well, first, here is gonna give you all the assets that you already have uploaded in your Storyblok instance, but right now we don't have any. So let's start uploading stuff. I'm going to go to where we have the Orsashi wood, and I save them here in the public so to have them around, okay? And this is gonna be the hero images, okay? And advanced, I'm going to add the alt text, so it's hero image, sushi, flying, hero image. Yeah, I'm gonna put it in both of them actually. And tags, well, I don't know if I want to put some tags on it. I don't have any yet, so just let's save it. Now that I see, I don't know if this is the correct resolution. Maybe it's too low, the resolution. But we can change that later. So let's save and let's upload it. Okay, and let's add it here. So we have our image. How do we display it? I'm gonna go to Visual Studio Code, and just before putting anything here, let's use pre to see what is inside of the Blok media. Okay, I'm gonna save it. So between the Blok media is gonna be an object instead of a plain property, okay, or plain value. It's gonna give you the alt, the copyright, the field type, file name, okay, which is going to be the source in the assets manager, and another stuff, okay? So we're going to use that data. Let's remove this block media here and just add here on the image. It needs to be a prop, so we need to put the 2 points here. Block media and file name. I just forgot. Here, Blok media alt that I do remember. What else? It was a title, right? So also needs to be a prop. Well, Blok media title. Since we are getting properties from deep object, let's just put the if here, just in case there is no block media, it doesn't start yelling, okay? So block needs to have media, so to show this part. Okay, cool, and there you have it. We have our image right away on our page. So if you got this far with me, I want to congratulate you, and please give yourself a clap in the back because you managed to create a hero component for a landing page made on Nuxt. Using a Storyblok as your content management system, you managed to upload an image, add some content, and check it in the visual editor. So really kudos for that. So a round of applause for you. Now, let's continue and add the actions. Because probably I have my window here with my camera. I'm going to reduce a little bit this so you can see it. Here in actions, we are going to add the 2 call to actions, which is just a fancy name for buttons that we have in our design. So one of them is going to be learn more, okay? So it's going to be learn more. It's going to be of type outline, and here we can put any link. In this case, this is internal links, okay? Maybe we can change it for URL, okay? But let's say you have an internal page which is learn more, okay? Or about us. That is going to be one of them, and the other one is going to be the download. So it's also a call to action, and here is going to be download, and this one is of type solid. Okay, cool. Let's go to the hero. Going to just change the order and save. Always remember to save because yeah, I haven't saved. I did this same section just 10 minutes ago and I forgot to save it. And basically it was a nice blooper of myself shouting at the computer because I lost the data and I had to redo everything again, but you know, it is what it is. So how do we create that component in Nuxt? Okay, we go here and the same way as we create the hero on the page, we create a call to action dot view. This call to action dot view is gonna be SFC component. We remove this. So we did with the other one. We just add props. Thank you GitHub Copilot for the help. And here let's just change and create a button. Okay, with block label. Okay. Because we added a new component, let's just reboot our server and we need to add it to our hero. So just below the P tag, we are going to use a UL and a LI, which is going to iterate from the actions. It was actions. Let me just check. Yeah, actions. Okay. Here. So action in block actions, maybe, yeah. And here we need to use the Storyblok component again, because this is the one that is going to render the block. So if we save and we go here, we can see that it at least is rendering the labels, okay? We need to give it a little bit more style. And also probably this one, we need to class, I don't know, flex maybe? Justify between, Okay. And let's go and create our call to actions. I'm going to add them style. So really quick, font bold, text XS probably. I'm going to add the shrimp 500, text white, okay, rounded, px of 2, p vertical of 1.5, probably that's enough. Okay, doesn't look that bad, but with the justify between is just taking the whole width and putting one below the other, and also the rounded is not complete. We need the rounded full. Hero here, instead of justify between, I'm just going to add that one, but here let's add a class with the margin to the right. Okay, a little bit better. What about this? I'm a fan of putting the margins on the bottom of the components. Maybe it's not the best way of doing it. Please let me know in the comments if you find a better way. There are people that do the spacings on the top instead of the bottom. Okay, let's see, a little bit better. The size is still pretty big, right? For the call to actions. XSS, I don't know. And we end up with something like this. Just to summarize what I did, basically I took the block type, and if it was solid, just putting these styles, so these classes here, and if not, I'm putting the outline ones. So that's how I get these different styles between them. Also, in the hero component, I put justify in, so they're in the last part here. It doesn't look 100% like the design, to be fair. I don't know if I want them to. Okay, maybe I can do it a little bit narrow, but that's okay for now. Fair enough. Yeah, probably the color here, it needs to be a little bit darker. That we can change it real quick. So here we put, I don't know, 600 maybe. And on the call to actions, instead of 500 everywhere, we put 600 everywhere. Okay, this looks more like it. Also, I think in the header is incorrect. So components, the header, yeah, here we can put something like 600 maybe. Okay, better. So I think we can finish the tutorial by now. We made a lot of progress with the hero component. We learned how to create blocks in the Storyblok admin, and also how to add assets such as images, changing content, and retrieving it in our application here. So for the next one, we're going to learn how to create categories as content types. We are going to explain what content types are. And in preparation for the next video, try to build this component the same way as we will the other one, the hero. You can call it how you want, category, section, or whatever, and just add the image and the title. This asset of like ink is in the repository. You can add it if you want. And send me your results to Twitter. I want to see what you create with this tutorial. The repository link is on the description. Don't forget to change the branches to see the different results, okay? And to grab it in the point of time that you are working, okay? So yeah. And that's pretty much for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. If you did, please let me know in the comments or if you have any questions, and drop a like to support the channel. Happy coding!